Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Chrissy, and it's the 28th of June, and I thought I'd just come on and do a quick prediction reading here. My two doggos are trying to get my attention. Oh my goodness. For anyone new to my channel, I just let my guides channel through to you. So stay watching because there might be a message you're meant to receive today. I'll just let my dogs sook and sort themselves out today, and we'll just get started and see what comes up for the 28th of June. Now, I'm definitely getting that discrimination is really growing. They're trying to create, and I don't think that's a hidden secret for any of us, they're trying to create discrimination again. Now, we know this has been happening for a while. We were discriminated against in the very beginning of all this stuff, that pandemic and all this sort of stuff. But now with the, I won't say it, MPOX, they're discriminating again around the gay community. We know this is the old separation and divide, nothing new for all of us here watching my channel. We see through all the stuff they're trying to implement and how they try to separate and divide all of us in our society. We see that because it's that divide and conquer that these government and parliamentary leaders are trying to implement. We know that's their agenda. If they can keep us separated, it gives them more power and more strength, because when people are isolated, they lose their power. And that's why on here on my channel, I always talk about us supporting each other and keeping each other stronger by forming sort of support groups and networks and little communities. And that's how we do it. So we're definitely getting this discrimination in all areas. It's not just one thing. There's a discrimination in so many areas. They're still trying to put that out there because it helps them to keep their power in their agendas moving forward. That's the government. So there's definitely this discrimination. I feel like there's going to be more of it too. I mean, you know, we've all gone through the Black Lives Matters and the unjabbed matters and all this sort of stuff. But there's even going to be more. Like, even, I have to say, even the whole abortion stuff, I don't really have a judgment on it. Oh, well, I do. I think, you know, your body, your choice, of course. But, you know, that should be a personal decision. But it's like we're going backwards when it comes to discriminating and decision making. It's like someone mentioned it yesterday about we're going back, I think it was you, Chris, we're going back to the horse and cart. That's how it feels. It feels like we're having to go back and simplify our lives because they're almost trying to take us back, and it's like they're stripping everything kind of away from us, isn't it? And they're forcing people to go back to create and stir up movement and volatility in people. I'm definitely getting that today, and this is government. They're definitely trying to stir up that volatility. Actually, an example of this is on the news this morning here in Australia. In Sydney, they had the climate protests, yes, more protests, and there was about 20 people there, and they were saying they could end up extremely violent, and they showed visuals of them beating drums and just walking along the street. So I don't know how that ended up being very violent. I think we know that violence pretty much ends up coming from the police usually, that stir up and instigate. Mind you, the protests look very planned here. We've got so many protests here in Australia this week, just to let you know. There's nurses' strikes today, massive, train strikes, teachers' strikes Thursday. It's happening. It's just people are standing up en masse here in Australia, just to let you know. So I'm definitely getting that. They're trying to create these like volatile movements. We know it's happening in America. I'll just see where else we go with this today. Yeah, they're showing me that these people putting out their agenda, they're trying to herd the cattle back. So it's like they're trying to herd the cattle back, but there's too many of the cattle. I often talk about the cattle, and, you know, we talk about the herd immunity and all this stuff, but it hasn't worked. But now they're trying to herd the cattle back, but they're showing me that there's just too many cattle to fit in the cattle yard. So it's like they can't, the government and parliamentary leaders can't seem to shut this gate. They can't contain them anymore. And this is fantastic, because that says to us here on my channel that these people are waking up, and they're waking up en masse, and by the numbers, like by heaps and heaps of them are waking up. So I'm definitely getting this. They're still trying, they're trying to herd them. And I think too, what we've got to realise is that, you know, as much as government and parliamentary leaders and all that try to implement the fear as usual, there's, you know, they're still trying to implement fear through all different areas. You know, you're going to get blackouts here in Australia. There's just the cost of living is out of control, so that's going to put you into fear. There's this fear and anxiety. They're still trying to use that same narrative. But what's happening, and I really believe it, is that people are becoming desensitized to all that now. And that's why they're having a harder time like rounding up the cattle and closing the gate, because people are just ignoring it. That whole Mpox thing, honestly, does anyone know anyone who fell for that? Like, I don't know anyone who's talking about it. I don't know anyone who's been jabbed for it. It's just, they keep trying to push that narrative, but it's like they need it to get traction for some reason. I don't know why. Who knows? We never know their real agendas, but it's not gaining traction. So it's this trying to close the gate. So obviously we would think they're going to come up with something new pretty soon, because the Mpox has not worked. So don't be surprised if we get, you know, some very scary, you know, virus that could come out very soon. That wouldn't surprise any of us, would it? So I'm definitely getting that they can't seem to get that gate shut because the herd is too big now. This is the waking up herd of cattle. They're waking up. They can't be contained anymore. I'll see where else we go with this today. Now, I'm getting that people are being implicated. Now, this could be a lot around truths. People are starting to be implicated and found out. Now, I do believe this could be to do with a lot of whistleblowing and a lot of truths coming out. That is definitely the energy that I'm getting. And they're implicating people in their story. So, and this is from more than one person. If we think of whistleblowers, they've also got to have strength in numbers. They can't just come out as an individual, because, as you know, you would have no leg to stand on. So you've got to kind of come together. So they're all yes, they're calling out these people for not telling the truths. So I do feel that's coming. There's this, I've talked about it before, the whistleblowing. There's a lot more of this whistleblowing, trying to get the truths out, and they're implicating people in that mix. So they're focusing on specific people in that that agenda to kind of get the truth out there to the public. I'm definitely getting that today. And I do believe that's around, pretty much around, I would say, Big Pharma. There could be other elites involved in that as well. And that's not an easy thing, to come and stand up and tell your truths. That's a very scary thing, because you're actually putting your own lives at risk, your family's lives at risk. But when something doesn't sit right in you, it's that, you know, it's like I always talk about, it's that gut feeling and that sort of awakening process, because you can't sit by and just allow things to keep unraveling when you know it's very dangerous and it's affecting people's lives, and people are being lied to on a very, very large scale. So that's why I'm getting this whistleblowers coming together, and they're implicating towards specific people, that there's been a lot of enormous lies. They're not little lies, they're like enormous lies. Definitely getting that, and I feel that's around Big Pharma. I do feel it's around Big Pharma, and the just that cover-ups. We know there's been heaps of cover-ups. Gosh, you don't need to be a rocket scientist, do you, to know that they've lied through their backsides. I'll just see if there's anything else today. I'm getting Paris. I'm getting that Paris is kind of eliminating violence now. Like, I feel like Paris is becoming quite calm and quite a peaceful place. They're wanting to get back to their centre of the way that they used to feel. Paris was a very magical city, and it had that real feeling of like a romance. It captured a lot of the human spirit in Paris. It's a very, you think of Paris, it's a very magical place of sort of wonder and delight. You think of the all the sort of tourist icons in Paris. There's a lot about Paris that's uplifting for people. So I feel like Paris is starting to get back to that joyous place again. They're wanting the tourists to travel. They don't want to be known as sort of violence. It's not what they want. They want to be known as this beautiful place for people to visit again. So I'm definitely getting that for Paris. They're wanting to uplift their energy, and they're wanting to uplift themselves and have sort of that pride again in themselves. And you know, pride in everybody. That's what I'm getting for Paris. They don't want to be known as the place that nobody wants to go to because it's not safe. That's not how Paris wants to be known. So I'm definitely getting Paris today. France has got a lot of shifts going on. We know Macron's in again, but France has a lot of shifts going on. And these are going to be hurdles for people to climb over. People are going to have to climb a lot of hurdles in France. And it's not going to be easy. And I'm not saying that to kind of scare you. I think that's just the reality. We knew it was kind of coming. So if you're watching my video, that's not a surprise, is it? You know, we think of France. There's a lot of delegation. Like, I feel like there's a lot of... there's like this team delegation in France. And that's why I'm getting a lot of this today, that there's a lot of decision making. And it's not really that it's hidden under the table, but it's hidden from view. So a lot of these people aren't aware of what's kind of currently going on with their lives moving forward, because it is still hidden from view. That's for France. For some reason I'm getting the words the People's Republic. I don't think I even want to follow down that road. So we'll just see what else we get today. These government leaders and these people in charge, these elite people and the people that are putting out their agenda, they really think they're giving power to the people. They have this strange notion that it is their knowledge and their wealth that is helping for the little people to regain traction by getting their lives back. Now, they're using, as we know, the whole pandemic agenda, and they're kind of offloading everything onto the pandemic has caused all this to happen. We know that's absolute BS and it's ridiculous, and we know basically the pandemic was ridiculous, but these leaders actually think they're really seriously doing all of us a favor, and it's that reaching out and helping all of us. They're doing these, like I've talked about it before, the rescue packages. They feel like they're really rescuing people now, and that we should all be very grateful, which none of us here on my channel are very grateful to government. But this is the image that they're giving me, is that they feel that they are so important in our lives that we should be very grateful for them implementing all the things that they are and helping us to stay afloat and helping us to get on with our lives. And that's honestly, that is how these people feel. That is their view and their perspective of themselves, not our view. We don't view them like that at all, do we? We actually see them as who they really are, which is tyrants and dictators. But that's what I'm getting today. They think we should all be very grateful. Grateful and parliamentary leaders and government, it doesn't really go in the same sentence to me, does it? I'm sure you guys feel the same. I'll see if there's any other messages today. They're just saying to me, like, the hiccups and hurdles that we've all had have been very, very extreme. We've had a lot of enormous things to overcome. As freedom fighters, as people fighting against tyranny, mandates, injuries, it doesn't matter what your journey's been, we've all had enormous hiccups to overcome. And it's saying that we've overcome them. It's like when you get the hiccups and things keep repeating, it keeps repeating, and it's very hard to get rid of the hiccups. That's the analogy that they're giving me today. But it's like we've had a big, big drink of water, which is like really getting back to our freedom and our lives and trying to rebuild our own tranquility and peaceful places, which we've now called Terrabella on this channel, and it's caused us to have a big burp, and it's released all that hiccups. So we don't have the hiccups anymore. And that's kind of the analogy. I know that's a simple one, but it's like we don't have a jammed up throat anymore. Have you noticed in a lot of my videos, I'm not doing that as much as I was when I first started doing these prediction readings. My throat's much clearer. I'm sure you guys out there could say that you're much clearer. We've finally sort of found our voices. We've let a lot of things go into the past. We can see, of course, what's going on around us and the destruction and the stupidity and the lies and everything that's currently happening globally. But it's like, seriously, we're not involved in it anymore. We've chosen not to be involved in that. And that's why our hiccups and our scratchy throats and our voices are not jammed up anymore, because we've found a relaxed and peaceful place. Because we've opened up our bodies, we've opened up our mind to new things, and we're just living differently. We're living as a whole person. And it's that beautiful flow that we've managed to find in our lives. I'll see if there's any more today, but we've definitely got rid of the hiccups and the scratchy throats. I'll just see if there's any closing messages today. God, they're showing me a visual of like notes, like monetary notes, all bound together. You know how you get the little piece of paper wrapped around them? It's a thick wad of notes, and it's showing me the notes like flying off into the distance like wings. And this is that end of cash. We're getting closer. I feel like cash is really starting to come to an end. You know, I talked yesterday about keeping it going because the FPOS was down here yesterday. Had no way of paying, but luckily I had cash in my wallet, which I sometimes don't. But I'm definitely getting that. The cash is flying away, and that's the visual I'm going to leave you with today. I'm guessing that the cash is definitely something that's going to be in the distance now, sadly. But I'm definitely getting like the flying cash. Oh, the gods. They're actually showing me like, oh, some of the things they give me, honestly. We do have to laugh on this channel. They're showing me like the 3 like wads of cash on the wall, like the 3 ducks flying. So we've got, in years to come, there's going to be this running joke of like the 3 lots of cash. And this is the cash with the paper around it, like a little wad of cash. And there's going to be 3 of them on the wall. If you can get that visual, just flying off like the flying ducks. That's an old thing that people used to have, flying ducks. I don't know the significance of that, but it was just a visual image that they've given me. I know in England you probably had flying ducks on your walls. Maybe there was something significant about them flying south for the winter or something. I don't know. Leave a comment down below and let me know about the flying ducks. But now it's going to be this visual of the flying money, that it's just going to be flying off into the distance. Oh God, the guides are ridiculous, some of the things they give us. I'll just see if there's anything else. I can't leave you on that note today. Oh, note. Oh my God. Well, the message that they're giving me is like the ball bearings are flowing. So they're showing me like, if you think of some sort of mechanism with all ball bearings in it, they're just flowing around, they're well oiled. And that's what they're saying about these government and parliamentary leaders. They're like well-oiled machinery. They're just rolling this out now, and it's smooth, and they're keeping up like the WD-40 or the oil, and it's rolling out without any squeaks, so no one can hear anything or probably see anything, because usually ball bearings are pretty well hidden. If you think of machinery, you don't see them, but there's no squeaking, and this is rolling out beautifully because that's what they're working on, keeping it quiet. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. The ball bearings are rolling beautifully and keep everything flowing. This is in the agenda rollout, sadly, but that's what they want. They don't want any squeaking or anyone else waking up to the things that they're putting out. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Take care. Stay strong out there. Stay enjoying your little part of paradise or wherever you're living. I'm going to go out and enjoy. The sun's just come out here. We've had a really late fog today. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like buttons and of course the bell notification so you know when my videos pop up. I've got tons of self-help videos as well on anxiety, fears, depression, so many other subjects as well. You can go and check some of those out. I've got a lot of playlists too around these, and I will see you in that next video. And I'll say goodbye from Australia. Bye everybody. Have a great day. Bye.